G'day everyone, it's Maydad here coming at you live from beautiful Bondi Beach, Sydney, Australia. And have we got a show for you with a special guest joining us. But before I introduce you to our special guest today, let us take a moment out to thank all our sponsors, including everybody at Nimbus Health and Wellness Studios, who have been with me from day one. They do all the ice baths, infrared saunas, massage, and all the great health and wellness treatments. Thank you for your support. Also, I wanted to take a moment out to thank everybody at Up South Cafe for all the nutritious meals and the acai bowls, detoxing smoothies, the healthy wraps that you've provided us with for all our retreats. If you're in Bondi and you're feeling a little bit peckish, drop in. I'm sure they'll satisfy your taste buds. Also, I want to take a moment out to thank Tim Okasa from Child Eyewear, who produce a premium quality eyeglasses. If you're after a good pair of sunglasses, check them out. Anyhow, getting back to today's show, let us introduce my good friend who's an NLP practitioner, a hypnosis, and many more other things. He's doing great things in the health and wellness industry. His name is Wayne Donnelly. G'day, Wayne, and thank you for joining us.
G'day, mate. My dad, thanks for having me here today.
Oh man, it's been a minute, hasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, it's great to get a moment to chop it up with you and talk to you about your journey and all the great things that you've been doing in the health and wellness industry.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on. So where would you like to start today, mate, Dad?
If you could tell us a little bit about your journey, how you got where you grew up before getting into the great work that you're doing now.
Okay, terrific. Well, I grew up in a place called Woy, just north of you by about an hour and a half, mate, Dad. Uh, and after going to school there, went through a few different things and landed into accounting. And then I was an accountant and financial planner for about 26 years. Ran financial planning firms, had my own accounting practice at one stage. So there's a number of different things there in the financial world. And then come 2000, the end of 2008, January 2009, I was working, building up a financial planning practice for an accountant in Sydney. And the GFC comes along and just sort of wipes everything. And uh, they decided not to proceed in that area. So my future was freed up for new opportunities. I used to think that was a joke when people left or were put off. And then it happened to me. So at first I thought it was redundancy. So everything, there was just walls, no doors of opportunity. And then I got a coach. And that coach helped me to reframe those things to my future being actually freed up for new opportunities. And we look back at an experience I'd had in 2005 where I had major spinal surgery. I was going to be a paraplegic. Had good surgery and was able to continue walking, and fell into depression, and then got into too much drinking, too many painkillers, and then went to jump off the skilly at Terrigal. And a mate rang me just as I was on the edge. I was thinking, should I answer the phone or jump? And I got referred to a counsellor who specialised in men who hit the wall, and particularly using neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis to turn me around, which he did in about 6 sessions from trying to end my life to embracing life. And when we look back at that, I said, bang, that's the mission, to help others the way I'd been helped. So I did my practitioner and practitioner training in NLP in 2009, and then my diploma in clinical hypnotherapy. And I went into coaching, business coaching, to start with because of my business background and behavioural change skills. And as I was doing that, and that was in Sydney, I was also working on therapy. So the usual smoking, weight loss, things like that. But then getting into more interesting areas where people are overcoming various traumas from domestic violence and um, a lot of horrible stuff, satanic ritual abuse. That's pretty awful. Um, and then I also went into doing stage shows, comedy hypnosis to sharpen the axe. So how far can I go in creating change? And then come COVID, uh, everything just stopped. So I just focused on the coaching, and that's what I'm doing now, helping business owners, senior execs, and other people with their health and well-being, and also growing into the ideal version of themselves to be able to do more, be more, believe in themselves more, and overcome bad habits, which there's a lot of out there, and really work on creating a very powerful positive self-image.
That's amazing. Very powerful story, Wayne.
Well, that was the nutshell version, mate.
Yeah, I'm sure there's so much more to it. There's always a bigger picture, isn't there?
Yes, yes.
But so powerful. I didn't realize that, and thank you for sharing. Wayne, can you tell us what some of the work that you do and with these men and women that you work with?
Okay, it's very interesting because when I go into the business mindset coaching, it's not just about their business or their career, it's about who they believe themselves to be. And the thing that is holding them back is their belief about themselves. And so we could be doing various things to overcome past traumas or things that came in during childhood and teenage years, and removing the anchors from the past and creating new and powerful images of the future, so they can begin to live this better version, or the ideal version of themselves now, which will change their life going forward.
It's interesting how they say perception is projection. If you think you'll achieve, you will succeed. If you set yourself up for failure, you failed before you even started. But so true about what you say, Wayne, and I support and I love everything that you talk about. We've spoken so many times in person over the weekend when we had a chance to with the coaching
Yes.
course that we did with Connor and Cullum. But Wayne, what is some of the great things that you love about the work that you're doing?
What really what really impacts me is seeing people change. So there's a number of programs that I do, whether we're doing just some sort of cessation, smoking, alcohol, cocaine, or whatever else it is, uh, and seeing people visibly change, and also change in what they're doing in their life. So, a couple of examples: I had a very, very successful businessman, like incredibly multi-million dollar successful guy, and he he fell into a habit of drinking. So he'd start at breakfast and just have 6 bottles of red a day. Um, that's a lot of red wine.
Imagine fandom having one.
Yeah, yeah. And we're able to, over time, work on reducing that habit. It was a challenge, but it was a very powerful change. So he was back in control of his life instead of the alcohol being back in control. So it was very, very interesting. And when things like that come along, quite often it's the symptoms of the problem. So um, there could be a number of things have happened there. And there was some really horrible stuff that happened during childhood and other stages of life, which had severely impacted, and it was just escape. That's what most things are, just an escape from what it is, um, that you're doing to alleviate the pain, trying to numb yourself. So it could even be a shopping addiction. Some people have that. And then on the other side, when we're looking at working in business, increasing not just the motivation, increasing the belief about what you can do. And I had one woman that I was working with across a 3-month program, and we got to just before Christmas. It was that Black Friday weekend where people go shopping. And as she was coming up to Christmas, she thought, oh, look, there's going to be less business, so I'm going to cut back on my expenses and, wind down, because we've got to brace ourselves for and a dry Christmas, if you like, money-wise.
Mm.
And we did some tweaking of her belief about this. And then what she did was put up a Black Friday offer, and she got $120,000 in sales over 2 days after this particular coaching session because she thought, wait a minute, I'll put out an offer. And so she tapped into her unconscious mind, which is what we were working on. And she put up an offer for what she was doing and as a buyer's agent for property. And bang, she just got all these. She took about 20,000 in deposits and 110,000 in sales overall. So that just went boing. It was the change of belief and the belief in what's possible. Because if whatever you believe to be true is true for you.
It's funny you talk about that. I know when I first opened up my gym here at Bondi, I was always told to celebrate events. Every event, your birthday, your trainer's birthday, Easter, Christmas, the Queen's birthday, any event you could, the city to serve, because that's right by my gym. Celebrate all these events, and it's so true. I think there's so many opportunities there for us to do well, and we really are our worst enemies. Sometimes we can just defeat ourselves before we even have a go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm. Wayne, I know you've probably got a lot of great things planned like you always do. Can you talk to us a little bit about some of the programs that you're planning, any retreats coming up, um, that you're looking at?
Okay, well, what I've got coming up starting Wednesday, 1 October, is a 90-day sprint to get ourselves into the position and the belief about having a breakthrough 2026. And it's a weekly group program. It's only limited. I'm only having 6 people in each group so that it maintains that intimacy and connection. So that's setting people up for the year coming up. And the idea is, it's just when I was first started coaching, we'd look out 3 to 5 years and reverse engineer to the current day. And over the last couple of years, that seems to people can only really grasp 12 months. And even that's a long time for a lot of people. So we bring it back to 90 days. So it is a 90-day sprint, accountability, hot seats. So in the group, people will get the group masterminding at least twice in that program to help people get ideas from a number of different places. So there's a lot of intense work, the accountability, the follow-up, making sure you've got it not just the things you're going to do, but coming back to the belief, because it's about mind work as well as the activity that they're going to do to get what they want by the end of the year.
Yeah, you've got to take action, don't you?
That's right. That's right.
It's like anything. Wayne, I you touched on something that was really interesting to me, and you talked about satanic rituals, trauma. I know of a young man here in Bondi that had experienced that, and he went through so much work, so much therapy to undo all of that. And he's at the other end. He's feeling a lot better about himself. But it's incredible, even keeping that word aside, satanic ritual, trauma, and that. But that's looking at the way some religious families and young kids have been brought up, because obviously it's something that I've spoken to about before, the 3 stages of human growth, your infant period, your imprint period, and then your socializing period. And it's not until your socializing period that most young people start to develop their own ideas and ideology of
Mm,
life, whether they want to follow their mums and dads footsteps, whether they want to be religious, whether it be Christian, Muslim, or whatever, whether they want to stop working on a Sabbath, or whether they want to eat certain foods and they don't want to eat certain foods. And it is not until that stage that they really break free, and some don't even, you know. Um, and it is, I now, as a Jewish person growing up, and I've kept a lot of traditions, but some of the traditions I've just let go, and I've been able to enjoy my life and feel like I was able to live a lot freer and have a lot
mm.
of fun. Some of the schools that I've worked in the past, I was only allowed to wear long pants and not shorts. I was only allowed to play certain music while I was doing a workout for the kids because they were so religious, I should say, sorry, and so strict. So I think that can really sometimes have an impact on a child's growth and his ability to understand his environment as well as they should, you know?
Yeah, well, that's conditioning from birth, and even during pregnancy, depending on what's happening in the environment. So yeah, it's very interesting because the child's mind has got no conscious critical factor until and like it starts to develop around 11 or 12, where they start to think for themselves, and then we get that little bit of rebellion because how does my what I think I am compare to what mum and dad are thinking? So, and there's their conditioning, compliance, and some people never get out of that. They think, right, that's the way we've got to live because that's what we learnt. And awareness precedes a change in behaviour. So, first of all, we have to develop the awareness that we can live our own life. We don't have to repeat what our parents and grandparents did, and then really focus on developing ourselves. And I mean, really, I didn't really focus on that until my mid 30s when I first went to a Tony Robbins weekend. That was pretty mind blowing. That was back in June '95 or '96. Did a fire walk and thought, wow, this is pretty cool. And then just started continuing to learn and develop from there.
It's amazing how customized we become without even knowing it. And then before you do, you know, it's, like I said, just selling the gym now and I'm having to wake up in the morning and not go to the gym as of next week. This is my final week. I think that's going to be a bit of shock to the system. But we get, you know, attuned to things, get connected to some things, and we just don't realize that how connected we are, that when it's time to let go, when we need to let go, how hard it is because we have such an emotional bond. We become so
Mm,
customized to what we've been around for so long.
I know, it's amazing. The neurology just gets set, and unless there's some sort of emotional shock, it's hard to unwire. So you just got to start firing new pathways in your mind to be able to create new habits, new thinking, new responses to situations. Because ideally, like what we're working on is getting into some sort of mastery of self, where we are in control of how we feel rather than the circumstances around us. And once we're in control of how we feel, then we're in control of how we think, what we say, how we act, and the results we get.
Look, I just had a little premonition as you were talking there, Wayne. It's almost like we're hoarding rubbish, you know, and stuff that is just not serving its purpose. It's like we're hoarding uh, an old surfboard that is snapped. But we're still hanging on to it. We've got some great memories because we've surfed down the coast with it, or we've had
Yeah.
some surfing sessions with it. We're hanging on to it. But really, it's garbage. It's gone. You've got your new one, you know. I know I've got an old pair of gloves that I'm just hanging on to, but I've just got to get rid of them. I've had some great sessions with them. They're just rubbish. I've got new ones, you know. And I think it's a little bit like that with our internal.
It is. And we cling to what's familiar, and it is almost like it's holding us back. It's like, as it was explained to me once, uh, that you could trap a monkey by putting an orange in a termite nest, and as they reach in to get it, once they grab the orange, they can't get out. They have to release the orange to be able to get their hand back out.
Wow.
No,
You
it's a great metaphor.
It's funny you say that. I still had VHS tapes of me doing competitive aerobics and the boxing and all that. And I was still hanging on to them because obviously I didn't have any other footage. I couldn't transfer it. And some of what I could transfer was very little. But I hung on to them and I had no VHS player or anything. I don't even think people today have DVD players, do they?
No, everything's digital.
Mm.
Like I've got some DVDs. I had to go and get a DVD player to plug into the laptop so that I could actually access a lot of great material great learning material.
Mm. Wayne, it's so good talking to you and catching up with you. I'm sure we've got so much more to talk about. Now, a few of the people that will be watching this back may want to get in contact with you and learn a little bit about the great work that you're doing and the stuff that you've mentioned. Can you share with us some of your social media pages like your Facebook, your Instagram, your email, or a website, or maybe somewhere they can contact you and have a quick chat to you?
Okay. Very easily, they can contact me by sending an email to hello@waynedonnelly.com. And my name is there on the screen. The spelling's there. You can find me on Instagram as Wayne D. Donnelly. D is my middle name, Douglas. Wayne D. Donnelly. That's Instagram. On Facebook, my personal page is Wayne D. Donnelly, and you may see a picture of me wearing a red shirt with the co-creator of NLP, Richard Bandler. And then I've got a business page, which is Wayne Donnelly Business Mindset Coach.
There you go, everybody. We've had a great chance to chop it up with Wayne, the NLP coach and the hypnosis practitioner. With Wayne with a world of experience. Very powerful session, Wayne. It's so great to chat to you and chop it up with you today. Um, I'm not going to be a stranger. I'm going to be calling you and talking more about things. And just, I realized that I've found many friends. I've developed many friends since I've gone to the Connor Healy program that we've been doing together.
Oh, that's fantastic work. And it's a beautiful uplift to our skills in influence, persuasion, sales, helping people to find a way to improve their lives because you're offering great services, mate, Dad.
Yeah, thank you. And I think we all are. I think, and without plugging our own trumpet, I think the world needs more people who are aware about this mindful, living. Uh, and it's not about just eating well, and just breathing well, which are so important. They're very important things, but just the behavioral science of it and how it affects others, because it really does have
Mm.
an effect in your family life, your work life, and then everybody else around you. But for everybody watching this, from Wayne, and myself here in Bondi Beach, Sydney, Australia. Thank you for joining us. And just remember that next week I'm going to be joined by Jill, our friend from Coach and Connect, Janice Merrill. Next week we're going to be joined with Janice Merrill for our short Zoom. We're going to be talking about her journey and all the great things that she's been up to. If you care to join us, it'll be same place, same time on a Monday morning. From Wayne and I here in Bondi Beach, Sydney, Australia, and Wayne in Woy Woy. Take care, everybody, and have an amazing day. We'll see you next time.
Thanks very much, mate, Dad.